All right, bro. So you asked me to make. Well, you didn't ask me, but I volunteered to make this video. So you were thinking about moving to Maplewood. Now, my listeners that's listening, I don't got my little fancy microphone on because the phone's charging. You got to choose one or the other. I'm going to go on a little tour. All right. Now, we're going to start off over here by the Maplewood bus station. But before I do, I'm going to park and get my coffee together. Right here in front of you, you have the Maplewood Mall. Now, there's a big Hmong community here. Ain't got nothing against them. But they have bought the Sears. The Sears is kind of on the other side, or actually no, Sears is right here. Let me get my coffee together here. Let me get that together real quick. I gotta have coffee. I gotta have my coffee with my they gave me a biscuit too. So shout out to the McDonald's over here. I know you like McDonald's. So the Maplewood Mall is very empty today at this time. It's pretty early in the day. You can see all of these geese out here. Sears is off to your right. It used to be the Sears. The Hmong community bought that Sears, and they're basically going to have, much like on the east side, I believe, by Phelan, they're going to have, here's Kohl's, they're going to have what I call a Hmong community center. And that kind of goes back into the conversation that you were telling me, like, hey, foundationals, the freedmen, black Americans, they need to have, black folks need to have local politicians speaking on their behalf for crime bills, reparations, all that kind of stuff. Yes, you're right. We need to have our own heritage center talking about the last 300, 400 years in this country and all the inventions and everything we've had. We need to have a program where there's grants. There needs to be a Freedmen's Bank. There needs to be all of that. But anyway, as you can see right here, this is another side of Maplewood Mall. On the right-hand side, they got a senior living over here. They got Becker furniture. So I'm going to show you some of the amenities that you have. Now, I'm going to start off with the restaurants a little bit. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to cut through. This guy decides to turn. I don't know why he's taking so damn long. Mexican restaurant over here called Acapulco's. Pretty good food, decent bar prices. You see the Chick-fil-A over there. Jiffy Lube, get your oil change. I usually go out to eat diner for that, but I'm just gonna show y'all. Raising Cane's off to the right. Raising Cane's off to the right. T-Mobile across the street, AT&T across the street. If Negroes want to jump the broom, right here, Jared, jump the broom right here. You get your, don't go to that other place. You go to Jared. You want to get you a wedding ring, you go to Jared. You got Fridays over here. You got Arby's over here. You got one of my favorites, which I probably should avoid a lot. Wingstop, I love Wingstop. Got Jimmy John's, Chipotle, we don't rock with that no more. We get the authentic Mexican cuisine. You got Buffalo Wild Wings right over here. Acapulco is authentic Buffalo cuisine. You got LA Fitness right here. All right, so now that's a one-way, so we're not gonna go back that way. We ain't gonna do that. If I get a lot of air, I'll turn up my voice later. So we gonna go the long way, is what I call it. We gonna go the long way. And I'm just gonna cover, they got Osaka sushi, hibachi, and I don't really mess with that too tough. We don't really rock with that really too tough, but this is Becker Furniture right here. We go across the street, we got an automotive spot. Now we're on County Road D. Now I think that place that you were talking about was County Road D. You could pretty much walk around Maplewood. People say you can't, but you could kind of walk around Maplewood and ain't nobody really gonna rob you like that. That's Office Max over here. So if you want to be in a so-called diverse environment, you know, you got a lot of black folk out here. Right here you got some Korean barbecue. You got Best Buy. You got Ashley Furniture off to your left. You got the Myth Knife Club off to your left. That's where a lot of the rappers used to go. That's where I was telling you, bro, Tech 9 was huge. Tech 9 had that joint sold out. That's a pretty big club. Slumberland off to your right. Okay, so now you got some townhomes. And these look pretty decent. These look pretty decent. Now I'm gonna go a little further than I normally go so you can get an idea of where 61 is. So this is the county road. I don't think that's the county road that you were talking about. But there's a nice little place to walk right here. You could walk your dog right over here. And I think that goes all the way through Maplewood to other cities. I believe that it does. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it does. There goes the power plant. Now these apartments I'm coming up on, I'm gonna bust a left and I'm gonna turn around because I want you to see where the hospital is. Everything is in close proximity to each other. So I'm gonna turn around a little bit right here, but I don't think I was supposed to go this far. Yeah, I don't think I was supposed to go this far, y'all. Let me see if I can cross this. This is cross the 61. Now right over here, there's a bunch of car dealerships. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna cross 61. Getting a little hot. So I'm gonna take this down. Up here, there used to be like a Dunkin' Donuts off to the side. Tobacco shop. This is, you know, house on the hills. Folks living kind of good up here. Not a lot of stores or whatever. You see people walking their dogs. Yeah, they still got this Dunkin' Donuts. I don't know if it's still open, but I don't think people really. That area right there, they used to have a Subway there. They took it out. Now this is 61, y'all. 61, if you go to the right, you take it all the way to the east side. If you go to the left, if you take 61 all the way, you might probably end up in like White Bear. One of these days we're gonna go. I don't have a lot of stories to talk about in my IT days, let alone the adventures of DP. You just don't have it. That's not an area that I, really dealt with. Off to the left, you got the Lexus dealership. And like I say, if you go off to the left far away enough, you end up on 694. So the nice thing about Maplewood is you're right off 694 if you're on this side of Maplewood. Yeah, you're on this side of 694. Open up my biscuit. I should have sent a picture of to stack dough with this biscuit. I bet Stack Dough shouldn't have been eating a biscuit this morning. Sunday's biscuit day. Shout out to Stack Dough. So off to the right, you see this is a beautiful walkway. You have a sign where it shows you where the library is. Now, here on County View Road, this is Trail's Edge. These apartments is probably crazy priced. You are going to see, which I think they have the best deals when it comes to glasses. The apartment, or not the apartment, but this is where you can come get your gas. And this is Costco. All right. So you got Costco out here. You have Sam's Club out here. I'm gonna turn around. All right? I'm gonna turn around. We're gonna go back the other direction. Back on County Road D. I'm gonna upload this for you guys. I might not even edit it. I might turn it up a little bit, but I might not even do no editing really like that. Sure wish I had my microphone. I might stop part of this and give you guys better audio, but then the audio might be kind of janky. The audio might be a little janky if I do that, but I might just do that for you. Okay, I'm gonna bust a right here. This is where I was before. This is Hazelwood Street. Now, I lived on Hazelwood Street many years ago. You know, as you can see, they got a bunch of houses that they put up here. Since it's a little cool out, or getting a little warm in the car, I think I'm gonna pull over in a second. They got some more apartment buildings over here. You got to see this person walking right here. Old lady. Off to your left, they got all these, you know, decent looking houses. They're a little small. They don't really got no yards. But what I will do, I might take y'all through some of the little neighborhoods over there. If you got kids, they do pretty good over here. Now, this is M Health Fairview Clinics and Specialty Center. They do a lot over here. I'm going to pull over here, take my hoodie off, and I'm starting to feel like a sub-Saharan cab driver in the desert. It's starting to get kind of hot. Take another little bite of this biscuit. They still got good biscuits at McDonald's. I don't really mess with McDonald's that much, but I like their coffee and their biscuits. All right, so pretty good service here. Very clean. Now, if you take a right here, you're gonna be back on Hazelwood. That's the emergency room hospital, St. John's. That's how I have my son at. Pretty decent, right? Pretty decent spot. Holiday off to the right. This is Beam Avenue. Now, you take a right on Beam, brings you back out to 61. Remember, 61 will get you to the east side, or it'll get you farther down to 694, maybe, you know, to White Bear. We won't go down Hazelwood today. Maybe we will, but it's a long block. Very, very long. And there's a lake over there. So maybe I will go down there. Alright. Boy, I tell you, ain't nothing like no biscuit and coffee. I got a biscuit today, Stack Dough. I got a biscuit in my coffee. What you talking about? As you can see, St. John Hospital litters the entire strip of Beam Avenue for the most part. Off to the left, you have, once again, Burlington. Again, you got a dental care center off to your right. U.S. Bank, not the best service, but whatever. You know, you got a bank right here. You got Outback Steakhouse. Get you a decent steak. You got Olive Garden off to your left. There's a new restaurant building off to your left. There's Maplewood Mall is at full capacity. Maplewood Mall is at full capacity now. They have a lot of local businesses. I haven't been there. Go to Chili's. That's hit or miss. Alina Health Group off to your right. Maplewood Mall is in full capacity now. It is full. You got Sherman Williams Paint, good service there. Plaza TV Appliance, go get you an appliance. You got Popeyes, for the Popeyes chicken equals spiritual people. White Bear Avenue. You got Walgreens off to your right. You got Premier Banks off to your right here at this turn. White Bear goes all the way down. You got Noodles World Kitchen over here. You got Valvoline Oil Change right here. You got Once Upon a Child. If you have children and you could get, like thrift clothes, or you could donate clothes or sell clothes and stuff. Excellent service. You got batteries and bulbs. You want some batteries off to your left. Still going down White Bear. Still going down White Bear. I go to this gas station right up here sometimes because if you spend over $10 worth of gas, you get eggs for $1. Well, eggs was damn near $5 at the time. So Marathon, good service, a lot of hood snacks over here. You got Bachman's Flour off to your left. You got Mr. Taco off to your right. Excellent, authentic Mexican food. We do not go to that Chipotle bullshit no more. We go to Mr. Taco or we go to Acapulco sometimes, but Mr. Taco is the best Mexican restaurant here in Maplewood. You got the Auto Mall. They ain't got too much. Here's why I always get coffee. You got Chase Bank. You got Hy-Vee. You got 2 liquor stores. You got Discount Tire off to your left. You got Advanced Auto Parts off to your right. You got Hy-Vee. Excellent service. Excelente. Excellent service. They bag your groceries up. Off to your left, you got Burger King. You got AutoZone. You got Home Depot. Excellent service at Home Depot. A lot of foundationals working there. You got PetSmart. You got Cub. You can't see it. All right, now we're getting close to 36. We still coming down White Bear. This is still Maplewood. Don't get it twisted. This is still Maplewood. Maplewood goes off to 36. It covers a big ground. So I'm going to bring you, all right, off to your right. You got T-Mobile. You got janky-ass Chipotle's. Don't go to this gas station right here. They credit cards janky. Don't go to them. You got U-Haul off to your left. Now we coming down White Bear. I still consider this to be Maplewood. But you coming down White Bear. Some people would say that's not true. Now you got CVS Pharmacy off to your left. I think they closed down. I think the brothers in Brooklyn Park trying to get that CVS to close down for like a food bank at Brooklyn Park. That was on the news. You got Starbucks off to your left. You got a Coin Laundry off to your left. I've always kind of liked this area right here. You got the Maplewood Community Center off to your left. Now I'm gonna tell you what I like right here. Now off to your right, you got a plot of land. Still going up White Bear. We're gonna be getting close to the east side, but I still consider it to be Maplewood. Maplewood goes far and wide, man. Maplewood goes far and wide. Now there used to be a haunted house right up here. Let me show y'all this real quick. I've always liked this from the architecture level. I love it. You got the recovery, the Cochran Recovery Service. Now this is a detour right here, right? They had a haunted house that I brought my daughter to years ago. Right up here. It was like a haunted house. They got like a little, a monarch. See, this is like an old, I love this building, man. They got the research gardens right here. Here is where you see a lot of the monarch butterflies that they're trying to bring back and stuff like that. You remember Joe Music, bro? I'm making this for my homie Solomon. You remember Joe Music? Where he snapped on everybody because we didn't want to go on the... I sure wish I would have went on that. He was so mad. All right, now we're going to go kind of in the back a little bit so y'all can kind of see the size of this place. I haven't been way back here this far before, but this is a big building. Man, if I had some big money and I could renovate something like this, I'd live in something like this. Some people would be like, man, I wouldn't live in nothing like that. I would. This is historical. I don't know what it is, and they got like a little water tower and stuff, but I'm not sure what they do behind here. I know they do something, but I think it's like a recovery center or something like that. I don't know, but this is, to me, this is like a hidden gem of Maplewood history. And one of these days, I think I'm gonna come out here and actually get the facts and talk about what this really used to be. But they remodeled this as like a haunted house kind of thing. They did a real good job, man. When they, you know, I mean, you know. Now, what's going on over here? Well, let's see. Oh, let's see here. Oh, they got some, so you see, people be out. They got the farmer's market. They selling shoes. It's like a little flea market going on. It don't look like there's a lot of money in Maplewood, but there is. People got money. They just don't make it seem like it. You may not see the biggest houses. You could go in some back blocks and see some big ass houses. You wouldn't even, you thinking like, man, they ain't got no paper out here, man, please. Minnesota got money, they just don't tell you. You know, people got a couple dollars. They're just not flaunting it like that. They're just not flaunting it like that. It's easy to live in Maplewood. It's not hard to live out here. Now, this is another one of my favorite blocks called Frost Avenue. We'll go on that later. But I want to take y'all down. That's a part of Maplewood too, I consider it. You might go into St. Paul after a little while going into 61, but hell, that's Maplewood. Off to the right, we got Aldridge Arena, golf course or whatever the hell they call it. So we might go up in there real quick. This is where Century College had a graduation. So you could go do golf. Oh man, they selling everything out this big. This is where a lot of college kids, and that's the golf course way down there. But a lot of college kids or high school kids, they go to this little arena. Man, I gotta start coming down here, man. Okay, what are they doing? Okay. They got papaya wick or witch. Oh Lord. Okay. Yeah, they selling everything down here. You come get your food. They got freshly squeezed lemonade. Yeah, man, I'm going to start coming down there, man. So we gonna go back out. You gotta kind of watch it right here on White Bear. I'm telling you. When you coming off of here, you really gotta watch it. A lot of people just go ahead and take a right. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and try it. Okay, I'm not gonna do that again. So the dome is off to your left. You got golf. Man, listen, man. Let me tell you something about people from outside of Minnesota. Don't let there's absolutely nothing to do in Minnesota. Minnesota weak. Don't let that deter you. There's O'Reilly Auto Parts off to your left. Don't let that deter you, y'all. Because you'll get Negroes that'll move up here and ain't really got no money, ain't trying to go canoeing, ain't trying to, they'll start talking as if there's absolutely nothing you could do. That's not true. You got Larpenteur Avenue, the famous Larpenteur Avenue. One of my favorite St. Paul avenues. Larpenteur Avenue goes way to Minneapolis, but it cuts off at the lake. Now, we're going to take a left here on Larpenteur and White Bear. You got Metro T-Mobile over here. You got the best steakhouse, excellent service, excellent food. And we're going to go up here to one of my favorite spots, the legendary Plaza. Yes, sir and ma'am, the legendary Plaza. Let me tell you something about the Plaza. Let me pull up in here real quick. They had some of the freshest popcorn for a $2 video for, all these other places. They charge an arm, leg, nose, and a few other harvesting organs and body parts. Whenever you get ready to go get something to eat, man, You come up here, see, if Sinners would have been playing up here, man, I would have went and seen it again. I heard they gonna open it again, man. The Plaza is a classic. Shout out to my East Side brothers and sisters. Where y'all at? The East Side knows the Plaza is a spot you could go to for the dirt. Now up here, I think they got like a church or there's a lot going on over here. I think they like sell stuff in there or something. Some kind of center or I don't know what it is. But it's called Woodland Hills. It's called Woodland Hills. Now there's a Perkins that was over here. I think it's still here. I think they might have shut it down. And there's a guy. Remember the guy I told you I worked with years ago? He used to come down here. I'll tell y'all a little mini story. Remember the guy when I was working at that place? And he wouldn't give me the IPs. He was one of these weird suspected race soldiers. It was kind of strange because he would do stuff like, yeah, man, I go to this Perkins. I've been going down there for years and years and years, right over here. But he stayed way out. And then he would tell me little stuff like, yeah, I'll show you how to shoot an AR. He wanted me to come out there with all his little redneck conservative friends. And he said, I got friends in high places and stuff. But then he won't give me no IP addresses. So I was really confused with this. I didn't know what to think. Now over here, the Hispanic people, the Mexicans, they got it on lock. Asians got a lot of businesses over here. The Mexicans got some real good fruits and vegetables over on this strip. So if you want some good fruits and vegetables, you shop with them. They got the Dollar Tree when it gets past White Castle. Every now and then when I want to roll around in the mud at night, some people say, well, don't go down here at night. I'm going to roll around in the mud, get me some of them Franklin fries. Dairy Queen, I don't really go to this one that much. To me, we're headed towards the east side. Some people would say otherwise. They'd be like, well, no, that's not the east side. I'm on White Bear. We're getting towards the east side, in my opinion. Now, this is the library right here, and it says St. Paul Public Library. So, here goes Arlington, the House of Clocks. This is getting towards the east side of me. Now, okay, I want my St. Paul niggas to check me on this right here. Because St. Paul Negroes would beg to differ. They might tell me, well, nigga, you ain't hit Maryland yet. The real east side is Payne and Phelan and Dayton Bluff, right? The real east side would be Payne and Phelan and Dayton Bluff. And can someone correct me on that? As you can see, it's starting to look a little janky. As you can see, these gas stations and stuff starting to kind of look a little treacherous a little more. Just a bit more, you know. Look at the houses. We wasn't too far removed from Maplewood. But look, I want to tell you how far Maplewood goes, though. Now, one would say this is the east side, but as you can see, that was the St. Paul Library. We still on White Bear. This is Maryland right here. Now, if I take a right on Maryland, and we're gonna bring you to that Cub Foods Maryland, which got all the snacks and all the fruits and vegetables. You bust the left on this Maryland right here, it's gonna bring you right over to Maplewood. But on the right side of Maryland, it's gonna bring you to the east side by the BCA. I want people from Minnesota, from St. Paul. I'm not from St. Paul. I want y'all from St. Paul to correct me in the damn comments. Once you hit Maryland and White Bear, is that the east side? Because I just saw the St. Paul Library. I just saw the St. Paul Library. It didn't say Maplewood Library. It said St. Paul. And this ain't the north end. So am I in the east side? I mean, we got Ames over here. This is Ames right here. Am I in the east side? You got Case Avenue. That sounds east side to me. I believe I'm in the east side. But this is about Maplewood. But let me, I want y'all to see. I want y'all to see how far it stretches. Now, I'm talking about the dividing line, but wait till I hit one of these main blocks and come back around, and you're gonna see how far it goes. Let's see if I can cut into here. Yep, 7th Street. This is 7th Street. Now, I could bust a left right there and kind of take y'all over to Stillwater. I'm gonna go a little further. So I'll say, is this the east side or at the edge of the east side? I'm gonna make the claim that this might just be, this is, because look, Minnehaha Avenue, we gonna take that. I'm gonna bust a left on Minnehaha. We ain't gonna go to the deep east side. I'm gonna take a left. Because right here on White Bear, you got Little Oven. They got some damn good pizza. You got Tier Meats. Damn. 5 West, off to the right. They call it 5 West. So 5 East and 5 West. Now, I just want my homie to see how far Maplewood goes on these actual blocks and all the different places that he can go. And, you know, where you could live and stuff like that. I'm not covering all the apartments, but he sent me something on Craigslist. And when I seen the price, I said, bro, that's a deal. You know, he didn't have no kids or nothing, so I said, well, hell, if you ain't really concerned about, you know, where the place is at and all that kind of stuff, is like, it's gonna be, now Minnehaha is always a pain. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, it's always a pain going on here. And if you go to Little Oven and try to park, it's not a lot of parking over here either. But Little Oven, the food's pretty good. So let me try to, all right, so we just gonna go down Minnehaha. They call it 5 East. So I'm going back to Maplewood, quote unquote. Maplewood don't have alleys. I just want y'all to know, they don't really have, Maplewood really don't have alleys like that. As you can see, these blocks look more St. Paulish. The 74 is running over here. The blocks, that dividing line, you start seeing the houses change a little bit. These, you know, like over here, it kind of looks like there's more alleyways. Like this is the city. Now you got Ruth Street. Ruth don't really go into Maplewood like that. They gonna let me go or what? No. No, I just want y'all to see the demographic. I'm covering the demographics here. Some people say, well, you know, that's the east side. No, I don't know. My St. Paul people may have to correct me. Deeper east side is Dayton's Bluff, Payne, Phelan. Right? Ain't that getting into Dayton's Bluff and Payne, Phelan? Where all them hills and all that kind of stuff, when it starts getting hilly. Now watch this. This is how big Maplewood is. Okay? This is how big Maplewood is. We not gonna go on McKnight. Here's Wells Fargo right here. Matter of fact, let me take a right here, because I don't like all this congestion. Wells Fargo's right here, the 5-8 Tavern's right here. For those that would tell me, well, DP, that's not Maplewood you're going to. I bet. Okay. Let's do it. That ain't Maplewood. Some people would say, well, no, it cuts off. It don't go this far. Are you sure about that? Conway Avenue and McKnight. Are you sure about that? I swear there's a big ass 3M right over here. I swear there's a big ass 3M. I swear they could have had something called 3M Road or something. You dig? Well, DP, this ain't Maplewood. 3M ain't in Maplewood. You don't see that big ass 3M? I'm gonna take y'all. Look at this over here. Off to this side to the left, that's the Carlson Science Center. Off to the right, this all 3M. All of it. You wonder why you say, well, damn, why does Minnesota got this kind of money? Why? You see these big ass nuclear fission looking reactor things off to the right? We're still at 3M. 3M owns all of this. All of it. This is Maplewood, one of the biggest employers. Now you sitting up here looking at this like, well, damn, this shit about the size of Angola. Yes. People wonder, well, damn, man, why can't they escape Angola? Yeah, because it's a damn city. It's literally a damn city and people live there. You ain't gonna escape. Where you gonna go? This is the 3M Park. Man, I'm gonna show you how big this shit is. We're still in 3M Parkway. We're still in the 3M. It's almost like a campus. We're still there. This is Innovation Boulevard. This is Innovation Boulevard. We're still in this joint. You could get lost in this motherfucker. They doing a lot of construction. Lane closed. All traffic must go to the left. Man, look at this. This is a city within a damn city almost, y'all. Look at this. We're still there. Well, man, 3M ain't Maplewood. You ain't in Maplewood no more. Yes, I am. I am. I'm still in Maplewood, bro. I'm still in Maplewood. This is considered to be Maplewood. Look at this big parking lot. Still on 3M property. This gotta be at least 1,000 acres. At least. I don't even, you know what? It might be 3,000 acres. I'm tripping. It might be 3,000 acres, man. I don't know how many acres it is. It's a lot. I'm still on 3M property right here. All this shit you see right here, 3M. 3M got it. Now we're on 120. Now, if you go to if you go to the right, there's no right turn here, so don't do it. You're gonna be on 94. But if you look, you can't see it, but right here, I'm on Innovation Boulevard. Yeah, I'm just on Innovation Boulevard. If you see, look, it says it right here, 3M Innovation Boulevard. They own the fucking boulevard. I'm not bullshitting to y'all. Right? So, they own all of it. Now, Maplewood, believe it or not, kind of cuts off kind of around here, maybe a little further. But then Maplewood goes all the way back to Roseville, Larpenter, and Rice Street. That's how far Maplewood goes back on the other side, off of 36. That's how far Maplewood goes back. So, let me let them do their thing. I don't know what he's doing. Let's see if he's gonna make a, okay. So this is Innovation Boulevard. I can't go nowhere. I'm glad I ain't going no, okay. I don't know where they're coming from. Now we're on 120, AKA Geneva Street, AKA Century Avenue. Remember, GM still to your left. GM still to your left. All of it. Now GM probably don't own that. They might own this shit too. But you know, I think it cut off there. But you see how big it is. That was in Maplewood. Now, here's the tricky part. Parts of Maplewood are still colliding with Oakdale, Minnesota. Right? So over here would kind of be considered, this would be considered Oakdale. This will be considered Oakdale. Right? Off to your right, that's still Oakdale. Off to your right, going up 10th Avenue, that's Oakdale. So we're on Geneva Street, which is 120, or now they call it 120, they call it Geneva, they call it Division, and they call it Century. It has 3 or 4 different names depending on where you're at. But when somebody says, hey man, I'm on 120, you're on Division, you're on Geneva, you're on, it's all the same. It's all the same. Oh, wait a minute. Now, some of this is Oakdale and some of it ain't. I think more so over. Now, I had to show y'all some other receipts. Now, this is where I used to come get, I told my homie, Mr. Johnson, this is where I used to get my dental work done. They done moved up to the Oakdale Dentistry. Which excellent service. They done moved on up. They were in one of these buildings at first. Now I had to double back a little bit. I got to double back and provide my receipts. I saw something. Oh. The Maplewood what? The Maplewood what? The Maplewood what? Dead end. The Maplewood Nature Center. This is the Maplewood Nature Center. Maplewood Parks Recreation Department. See that Maplewood van? This is the Maplewood Nature Center. And as you can see, you have a Maplewood what? A Maplewood van. We're in Maplewood. This shit big. I'm telling you, it's very, very large in size. It's not tons and tons of people, but it's very large in size. So I remember I just said a few minutes ago, well, part of this is Oakdale. Well, this side right here is Maplewood. I'm gonna prove it even further. I don't think you believe me. I don't think y'all believe me. You gotta watch when you're on Division. You gotta watch it because it's only 2 lanes. Oakdale's another place. Ain't nothing really gonna happen to you, man. You can't walk around with a pocket full of money. Ain't nobody really gonna bother you all like that. But you're not far from. You ain't too far from the east side. You right on the corner of St. Paul. You know. But people, you know, you got a lot of homeowners out here. It's not that people are just super filthy rich. It's just that, you know, people got business. You know, you're not gonna come down here and see a whole bunch of tents. They're not gonna allow it. They're not gonna allow it, man. All right, so guess what? Now off to your right, you're probably gonna say, well, that's a little bit more of that's a little more Oakdale. I'll give you that. Stillwater Auto Sales right here. I frequented the area a lot. I called it Oakdale because, you know, I lived in Oakdale, not too far from here, going back down. But what we gonna do is we gonna go on Stillwater. Oh, what's that right there? Maplewood. Yeah, that I'm telling you, it's pretty big. Now off to your left, you have a grocery store called Nolan's. They got a lot of fresh food. They got a nice little coffee shop over here. This this area right here, Stillwater Boulevard or Street or whatever, I really like Stillwater. Now I would take you back down, but that the other way, but it kind of defeats the purpose of this video. I'm showing my homie the size of Maplewood and its amenities and how nice it is. So we're still on Stillwater. I've always liked Stillwater. Oh, what is that right there? The Maplewood Tower. The Maplewood Water Tower. Yes, indeed. But man, you ain't still in Maplewood. Okay, open up Google. For anybody watching this talking about, man, you ain't still in Maplewood. It can't be that big. They don't use Google Maps. You can pull it up. Hey, where's the Oakdale Water Tower at? Where's that at? And if you take a left up here, remember we're on Stillwater. I'm gonna bust a right and just go down Stillwater. If you bust a left, you're right back up there by 3M. If you keep going, you end up by 94. 3M is right on 94. That's why they built all those new buses up there and stuff like that, because they're making an inner transit of Woodbury. They got a bus system. They were working on that. Y'all know, y'all been on 94. Now there's a beautiful lake off to your left. I'm gonna see if I can go down there, but I don't know where it starts at and stops. They got a place called Beaver Creek Village. That's a bunch of townhomes and stuff. There's some real nice houses, man, that are kind of up here. But, and then you see Maryland Avenue right here. You see Maryland Avenue right here. We're getting up on 47 minutes. So I think what I'm gonna do right here is pause it for a second and save, and then I'll come back because I'm at the light. No reason to get this. Yeah, once I upgrade all my stuff, man, and I move and everything, man, y'all gonna see a whole different change to the channel, man. It's gonna get better and better. All right, so looks like they got something for sale down there, a piece of land. There's something I've been wanting to show you guys for a while. You see all this up here? We gonna pull up in it. I want to see what they building. It looks major. Now this is still Maplewood. This is Stillwater Road. Remember, I covered this before. There's some real nice looking houses that was over here, but I didn't really want to infringe on the no outlet. You know, I don't like pull up and. Now look at this. A company called McGold. Now this used to be like I don't know if it was a golf course or whatever, but this used to just be a bunch of nothing. You know, I'm gonna be a little nosy. It doesn't say I can't come over here. McGold Deliveries. I just want to see what they building. Oh, they building some homes. Okay. Now this street wasn't here before. So let's go down over here. Well, ain't no money in Minnesota. Ain't the money, the deficit. No, I don't believe that bullshit. Door and construction. I remember I was working in a managed service company. One time. So we won't go no further because there's no point. But I was working in a managed service company, and they was doing some support for door and construction. I had an opportunity to work for a construction company. I didn't really want to deal with it. No need to go down there. Let's get some more. But let's go down here. Now, as you can see, they got a bunch of new houses. Now remember y'all, this area was just nothing but just a bunch of mud and a whole bunch of stuff. This is in Maplewood now, but they put these streets. These streets I don't think even existed. But they put these streets here, and I don't know what this building's gonna be, but they got a skyway. I'm not sure what this is gonna be. But I mean, this is a lot. This is a whole lot. And remember when I used to be coming down Stillwater, and I was wondering, I said, well, what they building over there? So they had to build a road first so they could get all this stuff up here. But yeah, man, they ain't playing around. Somebody always want to tell you what Minnesota ain't got and talking about the national deficit and all that. Don't believe that bullshit. There's nobody that's building this that ain't got no money. So don't fall for the, oh, ain't no money no more and all this here. Don't believe that, man. I done came up on the other side. I decided to go ahead and take 36 so I could, show you a little bit more of how far Maplewood covers. Now, when I just passed Huntington Bank, but we're back on Beam, Red Lobster, Beyonce, I'll tell you something about that Huntington Bank. In the Cub Foods right up here at the Maplewood, because see, we got 2 Cub Foods within the proximity if you're on White Bear. If you want to go to the one where I'm headed to up front, that's called Maplewood Cub. But behind me, there's the Matamidi Cub, which some people would say, well, that's Maplewood. No, that's Matamidi. And there's a Planet Fitness over there too. That's Matamidi. It's on White Bear, but it's right on the edge of Maplewood, right at the end. So you could call it Maplewood if you want. It's really Matamidi. So there's 2 different Cub Foods you could go to. Now that one's more of a family kind of Cub Food. They don't hire enough people, but they got a liquor store right attached to it. So people in Matamidi, and when I take y'all on that video, you gonna see, man, Matamidi, Delwood, man, they got that big paper out there. I'm gonna talk about the Huntington in a minute. This Mr. Taco, this place right over here, it's good date night. Real good date night. The food is excellent. They got drinks. But let's talk about Huntington that used to be at the Cub Foods at the one I'm getting ready to pass. Because remember, I came down this block a little earlier today. And this is gonna be on the video as well. But the Huntington Bank used to be at this Cub Foods. As y'all know, in Minnesota and probably in other states, there's banks always at the grocery store. It goes hand in hand. People shopping, food and banks go hand in hand. And they took the Huntington, which was they had good service at this Cub Foods. They had real good people up in there. And back at the one that I just passed, right here by the mall, man, that Huntington, they run that joint so janky. It looks so beautiful inside. They done remodeled it, and the customer service is trailer park gorilla foot trash. It's horrible. I opt to go into the ATM and just deal with my business most of the time, man. It's real bad, especially when it comes to getting your LLC articles of organization together and getting your, man, it's janky, bro. So we gonna get on 36 West. I'm quite sure you've been on 36 West before. And you can see the arch. You ain't letting Culver's go, Solomon. So there goes your McDonald's. You ain't letting go of the arch. I don't know why. Go ahead and convert, man. Get some real burgers. But yeah, you got a McDonald's right over here too. So you got 2 McDonald's in Maplewood. You got one right over here over the bridge. And you got one, right by Maplewood Mall, right across the street from Maplewood Mall. I'll say, I'm gonna tell you this here. The Maplewood McDonald's, in my experience, I done seen a couple nice looking sisters up in there. I'm not blind. I done seen a few of them up in there. I'm just saying. The one over on that side of the bridge, they hire a lot more Asians over there, a lot more little teenagers and stuff. It, ain't really nothing. But I don't eat anything out except fries at the one. If I get fries, I try to avoid McDonald's fries. But if I get some fries, I'll go to the one in Maplewood and I'll get coffee. That's it. I don't buy nothing to eat at the Maplewood one. They remodeled that too, but I don't buy no food up out of there. I'm gonna recommend you to get the food at the one over the bridge. I think the food gets a little fresher over there, to be quite honest. But like I say, McDonald's is not my thing. I'll get a biscuit and coffee. Biscuit, coffee, maybe an apple turnover, but other than that, no. As you can see, you got 61 North that brings you over to those car dealerships I was talking about. 61 South brings you to the east side, straight to St. Paul. 61 South brings you to the east side. You get off on Arcade, and eventually you end up in Hastings, Minnesota if you keep on going another 15 miles. As you can see, the legendary Edgerton Street. I've heard some bad stories about Edgerton and, with my St. Paul residents, but, it is what it is. We still in Maplewood. All of this over here off to your right, bro, is still Maplewood. You're not going to have a bunch of stores on this side of 36. You're going to have lakes and lakefront houses and stuff like that, but it's still Maplewood. It's still Maplewood. Now, it says Little Canada right here, but let me show you what I'm talking about. Now, on the right side, some of that will be Little Canada. That's the cutoff where it shows you Little Canada. But on the left side of the freeway, that's Maplewood, bro. And let me tell you how far Maplewood stretches. Still on Edgerton, 35E. I'm going to get off on Rice. And I'm going to get a little footage on Rice and show you where it cuts off. They taking a little while, so I'm going to move. To get into the faster lane. Yeah, everything on my left right here, on the side of the freeway, that's Maplewood, bro. That's Maplewood. And on the way back, I'm going to take a certain route and show you. He looks like he wants to get over, so just let him do his thing. So I'm getting off on Rice, and you're going to see that divider in a minute. You're going to see that divider. Now, like I say, you ain't gonna let go of the arch. Don't know why you're holding on to McDonald's so damn much. But here's if you ever on Rice, I'm quite sure you know, there's another McDonald's. So you got 3 McDonald's, bro, within a 3 square mile radius. Now, right here on this side, which I'm sure you've been over here, is Little Canada. Is more so towards off to the, you can't see my hand, but more off to the right. Yeah, that's Little Canada. But on the left, on Rice, you're gonna see where Maplewood cuts off. Because I know somebody that stays over here. And matter of fact, before I go where I need to go, I'm gonna capture some footage of where I think that county road address is. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask you for the address again, bro. Or I might find that screenshot you sent me, and then I might go down there. Maybe I'll go down there, kind of check out the neighborhood, and do like a little what they call to be an appraisal. I'll give you a little hood appraisal of what I think the area is like. Because this is County Road B right here, and I think this is what you're talking about, man. This is County Road B. Off to your left you got Cub Foods. This Cub Foods is okay. This one's all right, but this is County Road B. Now, right on, as you can see, these probably ain't gonna be Maplewood PD. What's going on? Oh, this Roseville PD. Yep, the edge of Roseville, St. Paul. They got a bunch of stuff going on. This is Roseville PD right here. Okay. I applied at this place before. They had an IT job. It's some little milk plant or let me see, what is it called? They got, well, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, St. Paul Beverage Solutions. I'll be damned. The Roseville Dialysis on this right-hand side and Maplewood Collision Center on the left side. The Dairy Center of Minnesota right here on my right side. So yeah, this is Maplewood. McCarran's Pub and Grill on the left side. McCarran's. All right, a couple stories, on that. I'm gonna do a story. I'm gonna do a story on they got O'Reilly Auto Parts. So yeah, y'all, I like Rice. I've always liked how Rice looks. I don't know why. The whole Rice Street and the hills, and this Rice and Larpenteur, Lake McCarran's County Park, Ramsey County Park. So I guess you could call that Roseville, right here at the edge. All right, I'm gonna pull up in my place, and then I'm gonna holler at you in a minute. All right, y'all. For the sake, I don't know what's up with my YouTube not uploading the last video, but I didn't grab the screenshot that my homie told me to go to this place. But I might pull over and do that real quick. That way I could give him a little appraisal of the area. Let me pull over real quick. That way I'm in a different lot. All right. So hold on. All right, bro. So I'm driving down. I used the GPS as far as I could go. I'm going to kind of pull in a little bit over here. You're seeing a Spanish family over here. Let me see if I can stop this. Hold on. All right, I had to turn the GPS off. So as I promised you, I'm going to do an appraisal of the neighborhood. I'm going to do a little appraisal. All right. White guy right there cutting his grass. This right here is probably, not necessarily middle. It's probably like a middle class area. Let's do this. Is Sherwin Glen. So I'm kind of letting you know the apartment is low key. I don't think you're gonna have a bunch of issues over here, but I'm just kind of going through the neighborhood. Let me see how the trash is handled. Let me see what's going on right here. It's a lot better than Rice and Larpenteur. I might have to send this. Well, let's see. Yeah, it's a little more low key. You ain't gonna have a whole lot going on over here, bro. See, you want to come. You really want to see what's going on at dark. But as you can see, it's a bunch of homeowners around here. So let me see. This is Burke and Barclay. So it's gonna be some homeowners for the most part around here. Let's bust a right here. No, we ain't gonna go down there. I really want to turn around. I don't like turning around in people's driveways. I don't like that because I don't like people doing that to me. Really all like that. But this is the Islamic Institute. Didn't know this was over here. So this is a mosque. So yeah, it's gonna be generally kind of peaceful. This is an Islamic mosque back here. I didn't even see. This is low key in the cut. Yeah, bro. Appraisal approved. You might want to consider this neighborhood. It's quiet. Ain't gonna be a bunch of lames walking around asking for quarters and all that kind of stuff. You're not gonna have that. Let's go. Let's drive around again. Elridge and Barclay. Yeah, it's just one apartment building on this block. Or the complex itself, I'll say. Maybe like three buildings, 3 or 4 buildings at the most. County Road B and Barclay. Yeah, you ain't really gonna have a bunch of issues over here, bro. This is another side of it. I could take you back down the block, Right here is John Glenn. This is a middle school. I've heard mixed things about this school. Now this is Hazelwood and County Road B. Now Hazelwood is a pretty good block. I could have brought you all the way down there, but I could bring you back up here to White Bear Lake. So I'm not going to take Hazelwood because that's back by the hospital, but Hazelwood will bring you all the way to the hospital. And they got another nice lake over there. So yeah, all you're going to see right here is folks jogging. But far as John Glenn, I've heard things about, sending your kids to John Glenn and stuff. I heard, it's a little ratchet here and there, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? But whatever. I mean, Maplewood, that's Prosperity Street. So yeah, and it brings you back down to White Bear. So no, you ain't gonna have no issues over there. That passed the test. If I was a single dude, all about my paper, not really, you kind of in and out. You know what I'm saying? You kind of in and out. You ain't really all up in the mix. You playing it low key. Looks like there's a couple Hispanic families that live over there. If you just want you a little one-off little apartment, and they trying to knock you down for $850, that's decent market considering the market that we're in right now. That's decent market, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you. You got your CVS pharmacy right there. I think it's open. Yeah, it's open. You got your Starbucks. I don't know if you don't seem like a coffee drinking guy. So, they got the laundromat. I think they got laundry stuff in the building. I'm quite sure, but you can go to the laundromat and see. You could drive and then hop on White Bear, take a left right here, and be on 36 within 2 blocks, headed to Minneapolis. If you want to roll around in the mud a little bit, might want to grab some little fruits from the Mexicans or whatnot, you could bust it right here and go down to White Bear, and another maybe 4 or 5 miles, you could be on 94. You see what I'm saying? You got your Napa Auto Parts, got a couple little bars here. I heard this liquor store off to the left is black owned. I'm not sure if it is. I heard it was. I'm not sure. I think I've been in there a few times. But I'm gonna bust a right here. Cause now if you can see right here, Cope Avenue's on the left, Castle is over here. They got a U-Haul center right here if you ever need to do some storage. Let's say you just want storage right by the crib. Chipotle, that Chipotle used to be a lot better. It got worse and worse and worse. We're done with Chipotle. Chipotle used to be something maybe 10 years ago. Man, that shit, they run it like a pigsty now. All the damn Chipotles are janky. But if you want a quick Chipotle, I'm going to recommend you to go to Firehouse Subs instead. Them sub sandwiches are a lot better. It's like a couple sisters walking right here. So, it's a decent amount of sisters over here. And like I said, right over here, you got Cub Foods, 36 West to bring you back to Minneapolis, Home Depot. So now you can see PetSmart, Charlie. You can get his food over here at PetSmart. And back over here by the Burger King and the AutoZone and everything, bro. This is where everything's at. Hy-Vee. Got this little mega church. They probably scheming and scamming their way. They getting their TD Jakes on off to the side. So, yeah, man. If I were you, they talking about 800? Hell, that's a fair deal, bro. Yeah. Approval. You got my neighborhood appraisal approval going. I appraise and approve. So, hopefully, man, this video gave you a little insight on Maplewood, man. So I hope y'all enjoyed it. I will do others. Hold on 1 second. We got a UPS store. I shipped a lot of packages out of there. Anytime Fitness. Right here in this parking lot off to the right. That's why I told you there's a Mexican truck to be over there, man. This food real good. Discount Tire. Leanne Chin. Chase Bank. Chase a Bag. Got the Goodwill right here. You want some little cheap shorts for $2-3? Get the Goodwill right here. So yeah, man, that's Maplewood, man. Little broad, you want to holler at? Get her some flowers. Bachman's right off to the side. You got everything you need out here, man. You got everything. There's nothing that you can't get that you probably would need that's out here. You got the Best Buy. I mean, you got everything you need. You got everything you need, man. So, there you go. All right, the video cut off, y'all. Larpenteur. We're on Larpenteur now. Now, off to your right, you got that gas station. Now, Larpenteur and I remember what it is. What is it? I can't remember, man. But there's I'll tell you, that was a gas station I don't like going to, man, because they got the Masterpiece snacks and the little dirt snacks, and them motherfuckers be good. I don't like going there, man, because you go up in there and spend like $20. Because they got a bunch of good, they got all the hood snacks there. So, you know, every now and then, you know, you want to eat, you want to eat healthy, but every now and then you want to step out of your comfort zone. You like, man, let me go and get me some snacks. They got the wrap snacks and all that stuff, all them flavors. So, yeah, I got to stay away from that, man. I got to stay away from it. We are still in Maplewood. We're going down McKnight. We're going down McKnight. Now, Maplewood school system. The high school's decent. And let me tell y'all something, man. We pay taxes for the education system, right? Some people in different countries would say, well, y'all get education for free. So what's your problem? You know what? We pay taxes. But I understand that from people from different countries might be like, okay, what's your excuse? We have to pay for education. You know, I understand. I get that. Now, when you think about it, your oppressors are not going to teach you what you're supposed to. That's what your parents are supposed to teach you. Your parents are supposed to tell you what to look out for. Especially black parents. They're supposed to tell you what's going on. Right? So, looking back in hindsight, and remember, if I would have had a little more mentoring, that's why I said mentoring was important. If I would have had a little more mentoring, if I would have had an older black, an older brother that knew what he was talking about and wasn't one of these babbling, ex-gang-banging, ex-pimping ass, Cadillac driving ass niggas on Lake Street to actually give you some true game. If we had an abundance of those brothers and sisters in our community, yeah, when they would have sent me to them gifted classes, I would have had somebody to lace me up with a little game. But I didn't know. And my brain is still developing. Yeah, we still on McKnight. We got Ideal Credit Union off to the left. Pretty good credit union. We're on 11th Avenue. Off to your right, to your far right, is going to be North St. Paul, which is a nice little, North St. Paul's decent. It's quiet. They got a lot of car shows. We're still in Maplewood, y'all. We're still in Maplewood. We're on 11th Avenue and McKnight. Now, if you keep on McKnight takes you all the way to like White Bear Matamidi. I'm going to do a White Bear Matamidi video sometime this week. And although I should not be doing Matamidi at night, I might brave it. Well, Negro, why would you put yourself in that position? Because y'all need to know what the hell I'm talking about. You get lost out there, man, you in some trouble. Not guaranteed, but it is. You don't want to be knocking on nobody's door. So I might do it. Here's the Subway off to your right. You got Target off to your left. Shout out to Al Sharpton and Jamal, Mr. Pastor Jamal. I think other men's legs are sexy. Bryant. Shout out to that nigga. Shout out to your DEI shut down. Don't shop at Target, but there's a bunch of black businesses still at Target ass niggas. Shout out to Target. We ain't listening to that bullshit. Well, let's just go to Walmart instead, man. Walmart, you seen they ain't hiring no sisters in management positions either. All of these places. My sister used to live over here at the Maplewood townhomes. Now we back in Maplewood. Now we still in Maplewood, I was gonna say. All I did is just do a whole round. I showed y'all damn near the whole Maplewood. White Bear Avenue. Getting back on that again. Shout out to, this is for my homie Solomon. I'm doing this specifically for him. And I'm gonna continue to, you know what I'm saying, do these little things. And you see Hy-Vee off to your left again. Now we're on the other side of White Bear, still in Maplewood. Right here at Discount Tire. So we just got one Target, which serves North St. Paul and Maplewood. Now, Oakdale has a super Target, but that's way up there by 694. Now, I'm gonna do one on Oakdale probably too. I might start doing a couple of these so people, because black folks can see where you can live. Discount Tire off to the right. I forgot to say, right here by that liquor store, there's a Mexican truck. Now, here's one thing I gotta critique about Maplewood. Ain't no foundational black American soul food businesses out here. I ain't really seeing a lot of Freedmen's businesses out here, y'all. That needs to change. Yeah, man, I gotta call a spade a spade. Ain't too many black American businesses that I've seen. Well, DP, are you gonna criticize the Freedmen? Hey, man, because it's enough black people out here where it could be kind of a burgeoning. You know, remember what I was talking about? Like, they got this whole thing where it's this big fight on 38th for Chicago and all. I'm like, man, they need to have one art store and clear all that shit out, man. And they really need some black businesses out there. There's a couple out there right now that ain't getting the support they need. That's the city of Minneapolis. Everybody done got their big ass checks and basically said, fuck everybody else. I'm telling you, when a black man gets killed, a lot of folks got their hands out, they get some money, and then they take them little millions and they get the hell on. The hell with the rest of us. Premier Bank off to your right, Beam Avenue right here, got Walgreens again, Red Lobster off to your left. What Beyonce say? Yeah, I'll take you on my chopper, take you to Red Lobster, you go to Red Lobster. Yeah, she could Beyonce you. Major Freight Tools. Great deals. Great tools, great deals, supplies, great moon buffet. You see a lot of the Hmong community up there. They getting it cracking. Huntington Bank off to your left. Off to your left also, we're on White Bear and Lydia Avenue. Off to your left, the Maplewood Mall entrance, you got GameStop. I think they shut that down. You got a Mexican ice cream store. They probably do the real deal Holyfield. You got a Vietnam restaurant, ain't never been up in there. Chick-fil-A off to your left. You got Old Country Buffet and all these. They call it Golden Corral now. You got Mr. Car Wash. They just put this up here. Let me tell y'all something. When they put a car wash in an area, that tells you something. When they invest a car wash, now you seeing a lot more homeless people that are asking for change. And the video ends here. They used to have a party city right here, but that's a wrap. So that's it, man. That's Maplewood, bro. I hope that helped you.